One of the sad things about the world in which we live is that from time to time, particularly in the Western world, we hear about or from people who say they want to be unbaptized. It's sad for a number of reasons, but three in particular, I think, stand out. First, that someone should find themselves in a position which is so bad that they want to be unbaptized. In other words, that they have become so disenchanted with Christianity that they believe that by taking this drastic step, they'll put themselves in a better place. Second, it's sad because whether through deed or omission, we as a church have allowed such circumstances to come to pass. Third, it's sad because it completely misconstrues the bonds which unite Christians. Being a Christian isn't like being a member of a club. If we join a club, we usually receive a shiny membership card and as a consequence can rush in to use all that club's attractive facilities. Christianity isn't like that, however. When we were baptized, we were joined to Christ ontologically. We die with him and we rise with him. We're also joined through Christ to every other Christian, living and deceased, in all times and in all places. I can claim I am unbaptized, but doing so is just a claim. I can even destroy my baptismal certificate if I wish. However, neither of these change the ontological reality of my baptism or the concomitant bonds I thereby share with Christ and every other Christian, which is what's so sad about the desire to be unbaptized. Today's gospel brings these points out. Christ's flock, his sheep, are those who listen to, or perhaps better we might say, hear his voice. In the lines of the gospel which immediately precede the passage we heard this morning, Christ's sheep are contrasted with those who did not accept his message. Those who rejected Christ's message did so because they rejected the works Christ performed in his Father's name, and therefore they did not believe in Christ. They were not, we're told, Christ's sheep. Then as we go on, we get to the punchline. No one can steal Christ's sheep because Christ and the Father are one, and no one can steal from the Father. This is a very strong claim indeed. By claiming unity with the Father, Christ is making a claim about his own divine status. The Father is divine. Christ and the Father are one, therefore Christ is divine also. Moreover, if no one can steal from the Father because the Father is divine, yet Christ is also divine, then no one can steal from Christ either. The bottom line then is once we're joined to Christ, we're his forever, because no one can steal us away from him. Still, this raises a further question. If we're so tightly joined to Christ, does that mean, therefore, we're saved whatever we do? Or, to put it in more biblical language, why should Christ bother to seek out his lost sheep? Well, here we need to draw a distinction. Just because we're always joined to Christ and no one can steal us away from him, that doesn't mean he won't permit us to experience the consequences of our actions. If we choose to live a life that doesn't conform to Christ's will, he doesn't stop us. That's our choice. That's how we've chosen to avail of the natural and supernatural capacities we possess. More fool us, we might say, if we don't choose to follow Christ, but that really is down to us. It's how we've chosen to live our lives. As for seeking out his lost sheep, Christ always knows where we are. He doesn't have to search through the various possible hiding places to find us. Where we are is already known clearly to him. The problem is more a question of when we are ready to greet Christ if we have turned away from him. The lost sheep won't return until they are good and ready. The problem is never on Christ's side. Christ's door is always open. We just have to be ready to step through, and if we are, then we'll always be welcomed in his eternal embrace.